Hey all, and welcome back to Fuzzy Dirty Gaming, and an update video on the channel just to go through some content that I've got coming up and to go through the most recent series, which is 24 hours in POE. So firstly, I'm not taking that series any further. I ended at 19 hours and 52 minutes. For anyone that followed the video, I've put a Google Doc linked, which shows the final points that we ended up with on the series. But the character got to level 90. The reason I quit is because when I looked at my character and what it needed to get to the next stage, I was never going to get there in 4 hours. It would probably take another 24 to get the character viable for like bossing. And it just seemed pointless grinding content for 4 hours when there was going to be no end product because the series would just end at 24 hours. But it was well worth doing because I want to make use of the character that we've made, and this character is going to form part of the next two series. So the first thing I want to talk about, which is going to be the first series that comes out, is going to be League mechanic strategies. But not just any old, use this strategy, it gets you 4 to 5 divines. I want to look at strategies that are viable for characters that have maybe only just got to the stage where they've got their first 2 void stones and then they don't know where to go. One thing I see a lot of people struggle with is they'll get to that point, and it might be on day 4 or 5 that they get there. This is when the streamers start pushing out their league strategy content, but you've got to bear in mind these people play, 14 hours a day. They'll copy that strategy, they'll either lose money or they'll brick all their maps because they can't complete the content. And that's because your character might be 3 divines, it might not be optimized, and it might not even be suited for that strategy. Whereas if we take someone like Grimro, he tailors his character specifically to target a Legion strategy, and it works perfectly. But he does say in his videos, if you take this on as a character that, can't pop Legions or doesn't have the clear speed or DPS, you're not going to make any money. So what we want to look at is every single league mechanic. I'm going to give a test on this character to see firstly whether it's even viable, and secondly if it's profitable. So there are some things I already know, which I won't spoil, won't work because we won't have the type of build needed to do it. Obviously, this is not going to necessarily be a one-size-fits-all thing, but this character is pretty bad. So if I can get a league strategy working with this character, anyone can. And if you can't, it probably suggests that you need to rethink your build. So they're going to come out probably in 3 to 4 videos, with each video covering 2 to 3 different strategies. I'm really looking forward to getting started with that. It's going to be back to a trade environment because that's where the majority of the people play. The second series I want to look at is slightly more interesting. It's going to take more time, and for me, I'm quite excited about it. So I've linked a YouTube video in the description, which is essentially a guy who doesn't have a YouTube channel, but he was getting loads of questions in Reddit because he built a character that got really deep in Delve and basically annihilated an all that looked ridiculously difficult and almost unkillable. So it's like a Mulna cast on crit, mana bond build. The reason I've picked it is the end game build is, stacked. It's hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of divines. But this particular player league started with this character, and he developed this character all the way through. Obviously, all I've got to go by is the video he posted and POE Ninja. So what I want to do is almost reverse engineer the build, go back to Act 1, Level 1, work out how to level the character. Because this character is on POE Ninja, I can just use a snapshot for dates to look at how he was in day 2, day 3, day 4. And looking at the gear, it's nothing particularly expensive or out of reach if you're just comfortable farming a few divines, whether that be in a heist early on or essences or whatever you want to do. The only difference really is going to be the lake rings disappear. And this build looks like it does rely on lake rings to push up some of the damage and some of the stats. But even without them, the character still looks like it's going to be amazing, and it looks a lot of fun. And it's not a type of character I've played before. So I really want a project to see me through to the end of the league, and this is going to be that project. So this is going to literally take up until December when the new league launches. And if it's successful, then it's most likely going to be my league starter. So they're the 2 projects I've got lined up. As I say, I've linked the guy's video in the description if you wanted to look at it. But I don't think he has a channel, but obviously by all means sub and like the video. It's a really, really good video. And he does go into a lot of depth about how the character works and why it works. And because he's gone into that much detail, it allows me to understand how to build that character from scratch. So that's it for this video. It's really just a quick update video to let you know what to expect in the future. I'm not going to be taking part in any of the new events, I don't think. I may do the Mayhem event. The other 2 don't interest me at all. I didn't like them last time, and now with Arch Nemesis added in, I'm going to like them even less. The Mayhem one might be one I dabble in, but I think honestly the next 2 things that I've got in mind are going to take up all of my time. But that's it for this video. Really quick one. Thanks for watching. Take care and see you in the next one.